Hello, Swivelheads. It's Greg Allison with Swivelhead News coming to you live with Nuke War News, my friends. Guys, it's going crazy. Uh, seems to get worse every day. Of course, now we've got we actually have Iranians, an Iranian legislator telling us that Iran already has nukes, something that a lot of us have long suspected. And we have Russia posing for a brand new offensive. They've amassed 500,000 troops on the Ukrainian border. Ukraine is not doing well. They've asked permission to use U.S. weapons to strike directly into Russia. We've got Estonia talking about putting NATO troops into Ukraine, in addition to France talking about it. We've got this whole theater there, and Europe is really heating up. We've got still potential conflicts between Israel and Iran. We've still got stuff going on with Hamas. Guys, it is boiling, it's cooking, it's simmering. And the sun, not to be left out of the picture, is now kicked out of X 8.7 flare. Now, as y'all might recall, my warning about that sunspot was that it was capable of doing more. I didn't say how much more. I said it was capable of doing more. Well, that suggested it could do a lot more, but it did. In fact, it's put out the biggest solar flare in 19 years, just on the 14th. And fortunately for us, though, it is on the limb of the sun. It's turning away from us, so we should miss the brunt of this flare. That's the good news. The bad news is there's another sunspot coming around, which could grow. And overall, I've said all along that we should consider that set of solar storms to be a warning shot for what may come. We got to get ready. We need to be prepared, my friends. And we really ought to double down on trying to get the power grid hardened. Now, I've chaired 2 power grid defense conferences. That's what this is all about, is preventative action as much as possible. So I'm going to bring in my chat room. So he's coming in here. We are a bit late for tonight, but not as late as we have been. And it says I'm not connected to the internet. Holy guacamole smoke-a-moly. I was, and it just fell out. I hope I don't have to reset this darn. Hang on a minute, guys. Give me a second. I've got to reset the settings here. Why did it do that? Give me a second. Hope I'm not my phone off being charging. All right, guys, bear with me. I hate to delay things in the middle of starting a newscast, but the chat room is crucial to me because there's what's keeping me going in all this. And oh my God, I'm going to have to pick my phone up and I'll probably knock the charging out. This thing is so sensitive, it don't want to recharge. Give me a second. Pardon me, guys. I'm sorry for this. Just bear with me 1 minute. All right, that should have this in. Oh, this phone I have to jam this thing in here. And when I sit down, I got to look at it, make sure it's still jammed in, or it won't charge. And I'm running out of battery. And that's what's running my laptop. And I don't know if it's charging now or not. Ow, it just blanked out. Oh my God. Oh, God, I hate this phone. Samsung stinks. No, it's not charging. After all that, see, it wasn't charging. I got to jam it in, hold it in, and release it very carefully, and hope it still keeps charging. It is crazy, that phone is. All right. Now it's coming up. Now I'm connected. Okay, we'll try this again. My apologies to those of you here. Oh my God. And let's pull this in. Okay. There we are. Once again, I apologize. I mean, we got in the room here. Well, we got quite a crowd in here. We got 30 for this time. Sorry, guys, about that. Let's go straight into the news with that. Oh my gosh. Thought I had it all set up and the stupid phone's acting up on me. Samsung, I need to do a product papa's review on those things again. They're terrible phones. Terrible phones. I despise all smartphones right now. So let's see. I got to find the right thing. Here we go, guys. Bang. And to start off, our good buddy, Lindsey Graham, suggested Israel should nuke Gaza amid claims the Hiroshima bomb was the right thing. Is our world getting crazy? He's a key senator. I don't think this is going to happen. Gaza's too close to Israel. They would have to get really desperate to do something like that, and the whole world would go nuts. They would go insane over something like that. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing that link. I will check that once I get through the news portion here. For those just watching, I will cover the news first, and then we will go into a general chat session. So the news will be the first part of this. Sorry for the early delay. All right, guys. So Lindsey Graham, can you believe it? He's really out there. But he's got support also on the Democratic side of the aisle too from a couple of them. So yikes. I don't think that's going to happen. But holy guac and smoke-a-moly. People are unhinged. But look here. Iran allegedly has nuclear bombs, according to this lawmaker. How do you pronounce this? Ahmad Bakshadeh our Destiny. I don't know. I'm probably murdering his name, but he claims that, well, we've already got him. We've had him. And as you know, I've maintained for some time that I've had intel. Now I've heard it from other sources. I've had this intel since the wall fell, basically, with the Soviet Union for years back, that Iran got nukes from Kazakhstan. I have heard this from two other high-level place sources since. The numbers I have heard have varied from 2 to 4. David Pine is saying it's 3, which that's right between the two. So whatever the case, pay attention, because Netanyahu's always wanted to strike Iran if they were close to having it. We don't know if Israel can really pull that off. They're certainly not got the full support of the United States. But if we go into war with, if Israel goes into war with Iran, you can expect we will be there in some fashion. All right, guys. And of course, as the Iranian officials aren't actually making that statement, they're being ambiguous about it, but what they're saying is this. This has come from Iran's Kamal Khazari, who is an advisor to the Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, not Khomeini, but Khamenei. He said, and I repeat this, I've said it before, wow, was it highlight and everything? I'm not wanting to highlight. He said the following. We have no decision to build a nuclear bomb. He's not saying they don't already have them. But should Iran's existence be threatened, there will be no choice but to change our military doctrine. Does Israel threaten the existence of Iran? I don't know. You tell me. It's all what matters in their mind. But the IAEA chief, Rafael Grossi, is quite disturbed by this. He's alarmed. He says it's a huge question because his group no longer has the kind of access they used to have into Iran to do the weapons inspections. And he's gone on and said, loose talk about nuclear weapons is extremely serious for me, and I think it should stop. We are moving toward a situation where there is a big, huge question mark about what they're doing and why they're doing it. So where are we going, guys? That's why this is Nuke War News again tonight, because it just keeps being news about nukes. And now it's even claimed that China is planning to put nukes on the moon, which pose a threat to the entire planet. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do a video on this. I've been working on it for some time, that it don't take nukes on the moon. All it takes is something called a mass driver to be a threat to the planet. And China could definitely do something like that with the size of a nuclear reactor that they're planning to put on the moon with Russia. The fact that they're operating on the far side of the moon, not the dark side, that's a Pink Floyd song. There's no such thing as a dark side of the moon. There's a far side, the side that faces away from the Earth. And I see reporters refer to that as the dark side occasionally. It's like, oh my God, you guys know nothing about science. But anyway, so indeed, we've got to be concerned. They're planning to put a 100 megawatt nuclear reactor up there on the moon. And we're talking about a 40 kilowatt reactor in the United States or something like that. So watch out, my friends. This is serious. And who knows where we're going with this. Pay attention. Oh, yeah, by the way, that and also those space weapons that so-called anti-satellite weapons, which have now been pretty much confirmed to be nuclear in nature, which I've been planning to do a special report on that to come up soon. are all violations of the 1967 Outer Space Treaty. Now, a lot of people think, well, Iran's not going to try to, China and Russia aren't going to try to appropriate property on the moon because that's also a violation of the 1967 Outer Space Treaty. Excuse me? Oh, yeah. China didn't thumb its nose at the UN, the World Court, and claim a vast tract of the South China Sea, which was also a violation of a treaty that China signed, the Uniclaws Treaty, which I call the Law of the Sea Treaty. Oh, they did. So they don't give a hoot. They don't give 2 cents about treaties only when they can use them against you. I've said don't negotiate anything with communists because they don't honor any kind of negotiation or treaty until it no longer, they only honor them if it serves their purposes. Once their purposes aren't served, they discard it like a piece of trash. So expect no honor from the communist. They have none. So go put that in your bank, guys. And again, the sun has flared out the biggest solar flare since 2019. Kid you not. Our good friend, Sunspot XR 3664 has fired one more as it's on the limb facing away from us. Unfortunately for us, that one might have done some damage because it was also followed up by a pretty good M-class storm. That could have been a 1-2 punch once again that could have that time done some damage. Now, by comparison, the Keratin event was considered to be at least an X10, possibly an X40. Now, we've seen a little bit of talk of northern lights all the way down to Cuba, but during the Keratin event, that went on for 2 or 3 days. And it was so bright that the people in Cuba could read their newspapers in the street from the light of the flare. Miners were woken up in Colorado and started fixing their breakfast because they thought the sun was rising. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. So, no, the flares we had, the storms we had, were not Keratin class. That one is kind of getting in the neighborhood. Not there yet, but that one could have caused damage to the power grids. The one that just hit, had it been facing Earth. Not a Keratin level event, but it could have caused damage, and consider our power grid, our magnetosphere, our protective shield is not as strong as it was during the Keratin event. So thankfully, that's not directly facing us. We may have just missed it. And again, we should consider these things a warning shot to get our grid prepared. You can go to my website, freedomrestorationfoundation.org, and go in there and find the Action Center page and look up your lawmakers and call them up and chew their ears a bit. I'll have to go more into that in the future. But anyway, and Russia has nominated Professor Doomsday as a Putin advisor, and he's calling for immediate nuclear action against the West amid, as it says here, World War III worries. I think I mentioned this before, and I've talked about this guy, Sergei Karakanov. He has been calling for Russia to use a nuclear weapon from the get-go, saying that the West would back down. It's the whole strategy is to escalate, to de-escalate. And apparently his philosophies are driving the new exercises with tactical nukes that Russia and Belarus are doing together. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit too. So let's move on. Yeah. And like I said, Putin started preparations for nuclear exercises with the Minsk forces, which is Belarus. Our good friend Lukashenko. And I say these words, good friend, with tongue in cheek. So none of these politicians are good friends. Not running any country. Don't trust, what's a politician? Politics is many ticks. Lots of bloodsuckers that are all bloodsuckers. Don't ever forget that. Don't get too much trust in any of these people. They get to their level they're at by doing a lot of nefarious things in general. So thank you for sharing a link to the Freedom Restoration Foundation New Days. All right. So I never said we wouldn't survive the storms we had, Larry. So let's move on. But we got to worry about this, what may come. And that's a good reason to prepare now, worrying about what may come. One good way to do that is to go to prepwithgreg.com. Prepwithgreg.com. Right now, you got a $200 off a 3-month emergency food supply, which is a pretty darn good deal. Imagine getting 3 months of 25-year storage food for less than $600. Now, guys, the solar system is no longer on the table here, but so you can find a lot of good deals when you go in here and click on My Patriot Supply. So check it out. Sometimes these specials, you may have to get them while the getting's good. Let's move on. Vladimir Putin surprise reshuffle. Now, this is where what most people have been talking about. It said he fired Sergei Shoigu. And, well, kind of, sort of, but he actually reappointed him. He didn't just fire him. He reappointed him and put a civilian economist in charge of the military. Now, I disagree with this article. He's saying the surprise reshuffle is a sign of serious instability. This is propaganda. Oh, he knew exactly what he's doing, Putin did. This is a step he's taken in his new administration for good reason. Now, his claim, the Kremlin claims, well, they wanted innovation. It's more than that. So Sergei Shoigu has been moved over to the defense, what's that group called? The Russian Security Council, I believe his name. I'll have to go check that in a minute. But what they did is they put Andrei Belousarov, how you say this guy's name, in charge of the military. He's a bean counter. Why would you put a bean counter in charge of the military? Precisely because this war is moved into the attrition phase, because Russia is amassing vast amounts of troops and materials to try to take it to its winning conclusion on their side. That's what they're attempting to do. Would you agree with that or not? That has got a lot to do with it. And a bean counter may be the best man for marshaling the logistics required for a war of attrition. That's something Sergei Shoigu did not do so well. John Cole, we got Colonel Cole in the house. Thank you, sir, for the first super chat of the night. I probably got one on me through the website that Michelle posted, 1 or 2 or 3. Thank you, Colonel Cole. Much appreciated. All right, guys. So this is what's cooking here, guys. So as Colonel Cole would probably be quick to tell you, being a professional military man, amateurs talk strategy and tactics, and professional military men talk logistics. Wars are typically won as wars of attrition, and Russia has got a lot of man materials to back them up. And Ukraine, we can send all the aid in the world, but like I've said for a long time, you can only make so many Ukrainians. And now Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, has come out and said that Russia is ready if West wants to fight for Ukraine. They're ready to fight NATO. That's what he just said. So no surprise there. Of course, we're sending F-16s over there. And Lavrov has been one of the people from way back that said the F-16 is nuclear capable, and Russia would consider that a direct threat, especially if they're aimed toward the motherland, right into Russia. And that is what, among other things, Ukraine wants to do. And here it is. Russia amasses more than 500,000, it says more than 500,000 troops on the front line in a dramatic bid to overpower Ukrainian forces. And it's saying that the Western-backed nations' outlook is bleak. How about NATO is looking weak? All right, and here we are. Ukrainians are seeking the green light to use these weapons straight on Russia. And why? It says they can't do anything about the enemy troops massing nearby. They're too much, so they got to strike in behind them. Well, why didn't they do that when they broke through the lines in the spring offensive, which occurred last fall? You tell me. I don't know. Every single person needs to be prepared. Amen. It's hitting the fan. Sleeper cells. The PLO, Palestinian Liberation Organization. Yeah, that's kind of what it all spins out from. Putin don't want to face the U.S. Navy. Well, he don't have so much in the sea They're talking about what they would do on land. I don't know, guys. We'll have to see. Military conscription for now. Europe is responding to this by playing military conscription for all their 18-year-olds. And this is Germany in particular they're talking about here. So, bing, Germany is taking this seriously. They're now wanting to go back to military conscription as our forces have treated under all volunteer force. So, again, this is talking about The Economist in the reshuffle. Andrei Belousov, or however you say his name, Andrei Belorusov, being put in charge. And Shoigu was moved over to the Russian Security Council. I got that right. Russia's Security Council. And so he's going to be in charge of the working with industry to make sure that all the armaments and stuff that are needed are supplied. So he's still in administration. All right. Now, Russia's also getting involved in sabotage and across Europe, according to this article from NBC, for whatever it's worth. Vladimir Putin trying to undermine Western support for Ukraine. So they're hitting things that they think might fit in that category, supposedly. And these kind of things occur. You know, you always got covert operations on both sides, as we know a lot of stuff. Hey, Jesse, we know a lot of stuff has happened in deep into Russia from covert actions. Covert actions have been going on between Iran and Israel for a long time. So that's nothing new, but it's just going to escalate things further. It's just more escalation. It's going to tempt Europe to get more involved. Again, Estonia is seriously considering sending troops. Now, they're claiming for rear jobs, but you put NATO boots in the ground in any fashion in Ukraine, it's an escalation. And Russia will also see it as such and probably raise the ante on their side. So there's nothing de-escalating this right now. Now, this guy, Rob Hastings, is calling for NATO to start shooting down Russian missiles going into Ukraine from NATO territory. Is that escalatory? If you think that's not escalatory, put a 1 in the chat room. If you think it is, put a 2. Hey, Alan Meyer Jensen from Denmark, I believe. If y'all think this is not escalatory, put a 1 in the chat room. If you think it is, put a 2. Talking about shooting down Russian missiles from air defenses based in NATO territory. Now, just because this guy calls for it don't mean it will happen, but this guy's an ex-NATO chief. He ain't just some journalist out yapping his lip. This guy has got some weight. It don't mean that this is going to happen. It probably won't right off the bat, but who knows? This is Mr. Rasmussen. Yes. Former head of NATO. So I imagine he's got some ears. Will they start listening to him? I think folks are thinking this is escalatory from what we're seeing here. Yeah, but you know, there's a lot to this. This is the Hill. This is an article from the Hill. This is that website paper I've been telling you guys from years back. If you go into the halls of Congress, go into the congressional offices, you go into the dining rooms downstairs, at least years ago when they still had newspapers, you would see this paper all over the tables and in the desk and lobbies of all the Congress critters on both sides of the aisle. The Hill. That's why it's called the Hill, because it's the newspaper of the Hill. That's the one the policy wonks up there read. And so, you know, their articles are to be taken with strong interest. Colonel Cole says right now, U.S. DOD could not fight itself out of a wet paper bag full of amphibian feces, woke and weak. That's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of. Yeah, thank you, General Millie Vanilli and our current Secretary of Defense, Milt Dud Austin. So, guys, a lot of this is about lining the pockets of the defense industry. They're licking their lips at all this warfare and spending. They're getting tons of money. And somehow they think nothing's going to happen from it. It can't escalate, that we're all good. And here they're actually agreeing with Kennedy because Robert Kennedy warned of a red flag of pending cataclysm. Kennedy said the situation in Ukraine is on the brink of calamitous escalation. Do the military imperialists in Washington and lackeys in Europe have any idea of their danger they're courting? They are conducting foreign policy as if it were a game of chicken. Game of chicken. Well, yeah, that's pretty much what they're doing. I got to agree with him on this, and I think a lot of people would. And this article does too. Kennedy is not marishly correct. Wow. And then went on further. We have to stand as one against Putin according to NATO. So, you know, we're seeing these kind of things, and we're just escalating this further and further. Even if you really don't mean to get into it, think of all the accidental close calls we had in the Soviet Union back in the Cold War when it wasn't this hot, when there wasn't actual war being conducted, when there wasn't so much actual talk of warfare. We came within a hair of full-blown nuclear war with Russia numerous times accidentally. All it takes is a misinterpretation. With all the escalation going on, that is all too easy. Even if you don't mean to get in a nuclear war, it could happen. And Ukrainian morale is collapsing as Russian advances on the weakened army of the Ukrainians. Russia launches global recruitment drive to enlist soldiers from 21 countries. They're recruiting why? They're getting Cubans going over there. They're recruiting all over the world to bring in extra. So they, you know, they got a lot to draw from. And they're actually Cubans are going there because they like the pay. I guess, you know, Cuba's, all these countries are broke. They're hurting. Anyway, so Russia-Ukraine war live updates. Kyiv launches. Now, Kyiv has actually made another aerial attack on Crimea as Kharkiv battle rages. As they're losing on the battlefront, they're doing aerial attacks. It's kind of like they're asking permission to strike into Russia. They're wanting to do missiles and planes because they know their ground forces are struggling. So they're doing that just to have some sign of victory to you know, politically work in their favor. But they can't. I can't see how they could take Crimea. Not in the situation they're in now. If they did so, the losses they would incur would probably lose them the war. It'd be like the analogy with the South would be Pickett's charge. Going into Crimea would be like Pickett's charge. They lose so many forces that even if they did manage to take Crimea, Ukraine would be so weakened by it that they would lose in the long run. And I don't see how they could take Crimea. Russia has 2 modern cities. That's true. They got 2 modern cities, St. Petersburg and Moscow. Other than that, yeah, they're pretty third world. Yet, you know, their economy is smaller than the size of Texas, but they're able to they got more nuclear weapons than anyone. This article is taking the attack that I said, just because I put articles up don't mean I agree with them. Some people, I like your shit, you're from the media, blah, 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 blah. People that say stuff like that don't listen to me. You know, they're just jump conclusions. This writer is saying that the problem of the whole war is that we don't have a plan for Ukraine to win. And that's actually true. That point is, but he's saying that we need to do it. I don't know how you're going to get Ukraine to win without going to war with Russia. Because it would definitely mean we'd have to put our troops there because Ukraine just don't have enough to make it. But that's what this guy is calling for. And he's talking about how the Ukraine's really now set up to lose. And he's even talking about Secretary Lloyd Austin, I mentioned a minute ago, saying that the U.S. goal is to make sure Kyiv has help. Have help. We're from the government. We're here to help you. Sometimes that help is not so helpful, right? Anyway, and National Security Advisor, former Admiral, I guess he still is an Admiral, but not active, Jake Sullivan, maybe he is active, but he's not in command of anything. National Security Advisor. He said that the aid package sent there was to help them hold the line to ensure Ukraine withstands the Russian assault. I don't know how well they're going to do with that. But in any event, you can bet that if they want to push Ukraine further, they're going to be trying to send a lot more money over there. A lot more money. Yeah, Billy the Kid, they should have done that earlier. We should have negotiated a peace treaty with Russia before they started all this, and we could have averted the whole mess I was calling for that before all this mess started, because Russia's long-term biggest enemy is going to be China, and they know it. But we forced the bear into the lap of the dragon, because our policy, our foreign policy people in D.C. and the State Department, Department of State, whatever you want to call them, they're a bunch of knuckleheads. They're they want to squash Russia because Russia went threw away communism, probably. I don't know. But this is claiming that Russia's just made a huge oil discovery in Antarctica. 511 billion barrels of oil. This is like 10 times more than all the oil off the North Sea. It's probably the biggest reserve in the world. Russia's discovered it, and this article has got fear that Russia would disregard international law and go after that oil. Well, they might. They indeed might. It would be such an advantageous economically to Russia if they were to do that, that it would give them a huge economic shot in the arm if they could pull it off. And, well, who's going to stop them? Are we going to stop them? I don't know. LC, you can't tie her own shoes according to... Probably not, Alan Meyer Jensen. Anyway, now we'll go to Hamas. As they're fighting in Gaza. A few weeks ago, one of the areas that got pummeled in Gaza fired missiles into into Israel. We'll start with I, excuse me. Fighting in northern Gaza suggests that Hamas is regrouping in areas already cleared by the Israeli forces, because they're trying to go into Rafah, and now that Hamas is popping up there. Well, guys, Hamas is like a guerrilla organization. They can disappear and reappear. That's what these kind of non-conventional forces can do. They even showed up firing missiles from Lebanon. So I don't think Israel can ever totally, completely wipe them out. The whole conflict over there is not going to cease. It may abate for a while, but the hatred just gets higher and higher on both sides, and I don't see any way out of it. It's a terrible thing in the Mideast right now. If somebody's got a solution that would bring all this to an end, I'd like to see it. So just look for more and more trouble in that region of the world. I don't see it watering down, unfortunately, especially not the way we're conducting foreign policy. We're not helping. And Biden, this article is getting after Biden because they say this betrayal of the ages that he's not supporting Israel fully. Well, he's trying to get reelected. He's afraid of losing the Michigan vote. Whatever that is or is not worth, allies of the United States are looking and say, oh, Israel was your ally. We're your ally. You just kind of dropped the ball on Israel. What are you going to do with us when it gets into tough? Some of them might want to switch sides and join China. Russians are recruiting men from other nations to fight for them. They are amassing them. Yes, that's true, Arnold. That's the point. They are recruiting, and they're getting people from other countries. They were already taking people from South Asian countries and a lot from Tajikistan and other former Soviet nations are going in to fight with Russia. So while Russia didn't go after Tajikistan after that incident over there at their theater, they instead pointed to Ukraine because they didn't want to offend Tajikistan because they were getting so much support from Tajikistan. But a lot of people in Tajikistan are still not in favor of it. Yeah, Larry, I agree that that's probably what happened to the Nord Stream pipeline. So, but that may be one reason, of course, Russia may be biding their time. They just may be biding their time. They're biting their lip. How far can you push the bear? How far can you keep poking it? And should you even keep pushing the bear and poking it? That's the question in the House. And apparently some people think you should poke it all the way to the nth degree, all the way to Moscow. And that is definitely what the Russians would consider a threat to their existence, which is in their doctrine for unleashing a Holocaust upon the world. On our side, we're running low on gunpowder. I mean, actual gunpowder. Not just missiles, but actual gunpowder. Because we've been using our stuff and sending it everywhere. So I always supposed to conduct a war if we don't have the logistics to do it with. You can talk about how great our forces are and how superior our technology is, but when you're running out of gunpowder, just how far can you go with it? Well, we got to get our, so that's just it. We look at the glitzy stuff. We put a ton of money in the glitzy new weapons, but what wins the war? Those are good for the opening phase of a war, for taking out key critical components on the opposing side. But the war is in the end won typically by just plain dumb ammo, artillery rounds, bullets, gunpowder, lead, dumb bombs. And we forget to put money in that. We forget to do the logistics required. What did I say earlier about logistics? I said that the amateurs talk strategy and tactics, and the professional military men talk logistics. That's why Putin put a bean counter in charge of the military. Can he win it? Well, they certainly got a lot of forces over there. South China Sea, Beijing should respond, according to this, to what they said is that the U.S.-Philippine joint military drills that were just conducted were kind of aimed toward Taiwan, and they consider that a provocation. And the writer of this article, or this article citing a writer and people in China, saying that China should react to that. Well, we shall see. Philippines sends ships to disputed atoll where China's building artificial islands. So Philippines are growing some cojones over there. They used to speak Spanish. They still do in the Philippines. So cojones rings over there. And it might be a good time to invest in your gold backs and your silver and platinum. You go to defythegrid.com. They got us great guarantee here. Found a better price. They'll meet it to beat it, and you get 1% off if you use the code GreenGreg. So you don't have to use a special website. Just go to Defy the Grid, but use the discount code GreenGreg. Some links I give you don't require a discount code, but you got to use my links. But they got a new thing here. They got a whole new thing here. It's I think they're doing this in gold and silver. They're creating animal and other bills that these are for barter. And they're measured in, they again are made of gold and silver, and they're not state oriented. They are oriented toward different topics. These are like they're movies or something, but they got a gold animal series. They hadn't posted on here yet, but I got notice of that. All right, the sun. We're not seeing anything at the moment from this solar flare. We might see the KP index go up some, but I don't anticipate us to see what we saw last weekend. Here we are. That's the X 8.7. And you can see this occurred on the limb of the sun. It caused some strong radial blackout. And even with that, and it is occurred on the 14th, which is yesterday. At my time would have been about 10:51, almost 11 a.m. my time, Central Time, which would have been, noon almost. 9 minutes to noon on the East Coast. So y'all figure that out wherever you're at. So, I said this sunspot could throw out a bigger flare, and indeed it did. For those that didn't want to hear what I was actually saying. And if we go forward and look at what they're expecting here, this is, a little, we'll see a little action from it, but it's not going to be earth-wrecking from our standpoint. So here's your wave coming out of the plasma, and this is the radial velocity down here. And this is what they're expecting. This is projecting forward a little bit. This is into the 15th. So this may have already passed us. So the power is still on, so I think we're okay, as I would expect. And you see, they're not projecting a major aurora out of this now. Thank you for sharing that, New Days. We're almost through the news portion here. All right. Cattle. There's a new report, a new study that suggests that cattle reduce CO2 and cattle reduce methane. Reduce it, not add to it. This is why I used to joke and say, if cows are so bad, Wild Bill Cody should have got the Environmentalist of the Millennium Award for wiping out all those infernal buffalo. Because obvious, with all the buffalo, the world would have burned up in the 1800s had he not dispatched them immediately. You see the logic, guys? That's why I always said it. I was making fun of all these claims against cattle. Well, now, how does this work? Two ways. How does a cow reduce methane? They belch methane. Turns out that them munching the grass keeps the grass from dying and falling down and rotting. See, the main contributors to CO2 and methane are actually in the soil. And by munching the grass, the plants then sink the roots deeper in the grass, sequestering carbon into the soil. And so this new study, now it's based on wetlands in Florida, where they actually did the study. It could differ in the arid desert, but you're still going to see a lot of the same effect. This study actually found cattle reducing emissions of both CO2 and methane. So for all those who want to wipe out cattle, wipe out our beef supply, wipe out our milk, because they're destroying the universe. What a joke. Where's the beef? Exactly, Billy Kid. Where's the beef? Pass the beef. It's the best thing in the world to eat. Anyway, so there you have it, my friends. Cattle can save the world. We need more cows. Wow. And I'm not a big fan of this whole narrative on plant food in the atmosphere anyway. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, we're going to delve into the politics a little bit. Joe Biden's nefarious plans to use, disinformation. Wow, talking about something I can't even say most of what's in this article without getting into great trouble on this platform. How do I put this out here and not get in trouble? I'll show some other articles to support this. That's how I'll do it. So we know that the Democrats have been major contributors to lawfare by going after politically all of their opponents, using the full weight of the federal government to a degree it's never happened before. And this is eroding U.S. credibility in the eyes of other nations, according to this article. You're looking at us going, wow, look what's happening in the United States. Lawfare. Is that a democratic principle? Is taking away our freedom of speech a democratic principle? Is funding social media and trying to coerce social media into shutting a lot of us down and keeping with the principle? See, supposing, well, they're private platforms, they can do whatever they want to. Well, that's true to some degree, but when the government's putting pressure on them using federal money, what is that? Is that not verboten in the documents signed by our founding fathers long ago? And here's another case. The rioters 200 migrants who stormed the El Paso border. They were just dismissed. Okay, all you did is attack U.S. troops. No problem. You broke the law crossing the border. You damaged the property and you attacked U.S. troops. That's okay. But what happened on the number between 5 and 7 of January a few years ago? How does that compare? You see, don't it seem, if it seems once, if you think this is, if that judgment was good, put a 3 in the chat room. If you think things are a little bit one-sided in the department, coming out of the Department of Injustice and other federal agencies, if you think they're a little bit lopsided on this, put a 4 in the chat room. What do y'all think? I'd like to see your opinion on this stuff. See, now the soldiers at the border are demoralized because these guys were just dismissed. Basically, what they're saying is that the judge in the legal system is siding with criminals. That's how they see it. Support also means you agree with those troops. Yeah. Well, guys, I don't know. See, that's what we're talking about. That's what the heart of that article was earlier, back over, where was it? There. Of course, it goes more into it with things that if I said on this platform, get me into all kind of trouble. But, it's okay for a Democratic senator to go to an event where the immigrants are being told how to evade law enforcement. No, they wouldn't do that. That's not illegal to become an illegal immigrant or to evade law enforcement. And taxes. Montana is a red state, is it not? Hey, Kim Possible, good to see you in the house. So what's going on in a red state when they increase property taxes so dramatically? So a 68-year-old guy says, I can't even afford to live in my house anymore because of the property taxes going up so high, $8,000 in a year. He says, I'm on Social Security. And the increase went from $895 a year to almost $8,000, an increase of 790%. Well, what do they say? You will own nothing and you'll be happy. How happy will you be? Not very, in my humble opinion. This guy's not happy, is he? And should he be? Jeez. You tell me. This is nuts. But guys, what's all this money buying? It ain't buying new schools. Alabama's got the lowest property tax in the union. You go around here to the Huntsville area and just look, there's brand new, ginormous, big, huge schools everywhere you turn. Gigantic, huge, brand new schools on just about every street block with the lowest property taxes. So how can that be? You go to these places with high property taxes, what you're going to find is they just keep hiring administrators and more administrators and more administrators and deputy administrators and deputy administrators and all kind of extra people. They line it all up with a bunch of fat in the system, and they pay them more than the president of the United States makes in salary. It's nuts. And tell me how well the schools are performing. You ask Colonel Cole in the House how well the schools are performing today. It's violence inside of public schools. It's horrible. Education? No, they're not getting education. They're getting indoctrination. Are they learning the 3 R's? You tell me. Our schools are deplorable. The more money you pour in them, the worse they get. Space weather, look at the sunspots, guys. The sun has got spots all over it. There's 3664. It just put out a X 8.4. And we got some new spots coming around over here that are growing. And just put out a flare. Let's go back over here. Where was it? Let's scoot this down to find it. Yeah, let's come back over here. This sunspot was put out by 3682. Look at that, just coming around the limb. What's it going to bring us? You got to remember, 3664 wasn't that big when it first came around, but she grew. She definitely grew and grew a lot. See, that one's not even on the chart here. It's still on the limb up here. Okay, better watch out. We may get more stuff coming. We don't know. You never know. It's all random. This thing blew up. Will it continue to grow around the other side? Will it abate before it comes back at us? A lot of times they do that. Let's hope and pray that abates. Colonel Cole, malbehavior at the public diploma mill. Yeah, I get a ton of email from him on that topic. Stuff that if I covered it here fully would get me shut down permanently. What's 1 + 1 equal? Committee. That's about it, my friends. That's about it. Anyway, the big solar storm is over. For now, that's true. They're thinking we're just going to get G1s and G2s at most for the next few days. And let's hope that's true. There's your big CME that we just had. No, that's before, that's on the 13th. All right, guys. Let's go down and look at asteroids. We just had a near miss on the 14th yesterday. It was a small one, just 4 meters in diameter. It would not have done any damage if it had put a direct hit on the Earth. But that's within the realm of our geosynchronous satellites right there, 1/10 of a lunar distance away. And as typical, what's coming ahead, we don't know of anything that poses a great threat. But look at all the red in the past. See, all these red ones, that we find these things when they get near to us or when they pass us. We'll get better over time. We mapped all those. We'll map more. And that'll be good for the day that we go up there and start snagging from the sky and making useful stuff out of them, instead of leaving them up there to target us. That's how we should make use of asteroids. Turn them into useful products, not potential threats. So we just got a fresh earthquake in Alaska, 3.7. And then Walkie, or Wallach, how you ever say that. And look at Puerto Rico. Holy smoke, the Puerto Ricans are dancing hard tonight. Indonesia area. See Papua New Guinea. Let's look over Papua New Guinea here. 5.6. There's about 3 of them stacked in there. We'll go back to that in a minute. Let's go burrowing in a little bit. Look at Puerto Rico, guys. They're dancing heavy down here tonight. 5, 3.4. There's a big one right here on the outer circle. If I'm grabbing that's the little one. 3.2. What's the big circle? So I'm grabbing. I have to go in a little further to grab that one. There we go. 5.6. San Antonio, Puerto Rico. And out here in the islands, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, Cruz Bay of 3.4. San Lucia, 4.4. And we got a lot of stuff in Texas tonight. Fowlerton, Texas, 2.6. Let's go a little closer. Yikes. We got 2 right here, but they're sitting right on top of each other. That's a smaller one. 2.9 in Falls City. Going closer to grab the outer one, I guess. Not grab it or not. I'm going in crazy close. Okay, 3.0. Did get it. And we got one here. Mentone, Texas. We got a Mentone in Alabama. Right on the San Andreas Fault. This little point's been real active. Delta and Mexico. There's a 3.3. That's been an active little spot. Willits, California, 3.1. Blue Lake, California. Belly the Kid, thank you, sir, for the super chat. Much appreciated. All right. So we'll come up here and look at Alaska. Got that one. Not so many at the moment, not fresh ones. That one's out in the Cook Inlet. So let's scroll back out. We're way too close in. Here in Aleutians, 4.6. So on the Russian side, check peninsula there. Got one in New Zealand. We got anybody from New Zealand in the house. Samuel Turner, good to see you in the house. Salute to you, Samuel Turner. I have got to get some sleep, but keep your good work. Well, thank you. We'll have to arm wrestle. I might be the ugliest man, Sam. We're on my way to it. All right, Papua New Guinea here. Papa's popping, 5.6. They've been having a lot of earthquakes in Papua New Guinea. 4.5, 4.5. Up here in these islands, around Tonga. Remember that big volcano in that region? 5.3. Haifo, Tonga, 4.5. All right, in the Kermendik area islands. We got one there. That's pretty normal. All right, guys. Lots of things going on up here in Afghanistan. All right, let's go with earthquakes. Weather. We had a whole bunch of more storms come through. How come that's hung up? Let's do a refresh. Fortunately, these are finally going off the coast, a little bit left over in the DC area. Got a little snow mix up here in northern Colorado and Wyoming. Some rain between Kansas and Nebraska. It's cooling down around here, 62s in these areas. Phoenix is a 73, not bad for this time of the year. All right, we're not going to go into all the temperatures just yet. We'll save that. Maybe we'll go through it later. Let's do the stop the share. And now we'll go into the chat for a portion. The news section of this video is over. For those drinking coffee with us in the morning, if you want to hang on to see what we're saying in the chat, you're welcome to it. It depends on where they're at, tried it. The ones in the Juan de Fuca plate have been hitting pretty deep according to Chewy Weather. Zeus changed his mind. What's up, Colorado Jen? Oh, your dog's name is Zeus. He wanted out and changed his mind. What did Colonel Cole say? He said, talk to me when you have a 9.0 or greater in a subduction zone, tsunami, Chile. Yeah, that's some bad news when you get that. Chile in 1960, Alaska 1964. Billy Kidd, thank you for the next super chat. Appreciate that. Sumatra 2004, Japan 2011. Yeah, that Sumatra earthquake caused a lot of loss of life, and we know what happened with Fukushima in January 2011. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to see if these are kind of stepping us in that direction. That's one reason we're paying attention to them, to see what's coming next. Those little earthquakes in of themselves aren't the scare. Are they getting things prepped for something? That's why we look at the San Andreas Fault and at Juan de Fuca plate. I always want to call it San something. San Juan, I guess, after the battle in Puerto Rico. Where Teddy charged the hill in San Juan, right? It was Juan de Fuca, not San Juan. I always want to say San. Excuse me. I'm a fan of history. What can I say? I do want to check to see what kind of super chats we got here on my, hang on, guys. I got to log in through my website that Michelle Young posted a link to earlier. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got two nice super chats tonight through there. Michelle Young, $10. And New Days, 25. Salute to you both. Thank y'all both for the wonderful super chats here on my through my website and to the PayPal. Thank you for that. Salute to you both, Michelle Young and New Days. Alrighty, folks. So I love volcanoes and earthquakes. It means that we're on a living, breathing planet. Yeah, if the planet weren't moving and shaking and quaking and pushing continents around and up, the rain would have eventually eroded all the continents down, and there would be no land above sea level. There would be no land above sea level. You know, some of these scientists believe that when the next supercontinent forms in 250 million years from now, it's going to get too hot on Earth for mammals to survive. I don't know. Hey, tried it. Thank you for the super chat. That's what they're suggesting. It's going to get too hot for mammals to survive. But, you know, they forget something. When the Himalayas formed, the Himalayas sequestered a lot of carbon, all those rocks they exposed. A lot of carbons up in them rocks. So are they discounting that? Are they accounting for it? You know, they think, oh, the sun is growing stronger over time. So maybe that'll add to it. But 250 million years to end of mammals, that's what they're claiming. What about the dolphins in the sea? Surely they'll survive. I think that's a little bit overblown, but if it's not by then, if we don't have the technology to put some sunscreens up there between Earth and the sun, there's something wrong. Maybe we'll have enough technology to move the Earth out, into a further away orbit. Which, yeah, we're talking 250 million years from now. We ought to be a top 7 civilization if we can survive the next 10 years, which is a big challenge. So we shall see. The fact that we don't see direct evidence of Dyson spheres when we look up in the sky at night, although there's some claims that say we may have found a few, possibly, but it's not definitive. We should be seeing more definitive evidence by now. The Fermi paradox of harm here should have been answered. They ought to be knocking on our doors. There should be undeniable evidence of civilizations out there, and the fact that there's not suggests we may have something called the Great Terminator. Civilizations may not survive long beyond this point. Tonga was January 2022. Oh, okay. So that was a big volcano. Fortunately, it was mostly under sea, and that abated a lot of the effects of that explosion. Anyway, so Let's go through the chat room, see what folks are saying in here, because I do like to give you guys some attention, because y'all give me attention. Y'all support me. So let's see what you guys have got to say. All right. Esley, AB is a Men in Black's top guy. Ooh, AB? Oh, ow. Checking in soon. The nuclear defense of Great Britain will be utilized. Oh, Colonel Cole. Hey, you ready to do an interview yet, Colonel Cole? You feel like you can talk? All right. Yeah, we better have some faith in some higher powers, our Arnold and Wendy. Keep yourself right with your maker. But I like what Colonel Cole's got to say. Praise the Lord and pass the ammo. You said it many times. I'm not too worried about Hart S. Lee because it really don't have that much power. I mean, you look at the power available to it compared to the power of just regular thunderstorm. It don't have that much power, let alone a hurricane or what the sun puts out with aurora. It's a little heating of the atmosphere is tiny, although it's in, kind of a strategic area. It could help with radio communications. It's an atmospheric heater. That's what they call it. But how much it can provide heat wise is not a lot. I mean, just look at the power lines running to it. It can't carry tons of amperage. So it's not something I worry about. It's like guys, I saw a bunch of articles on the internet several years ago where people were pointing at the cell towers. And so you look at those big cables going up those cell towers, they can put out, thousands and thousands of amps and fry everybody. Those weren't cables, they're waveguide, they're hollow. They're what the microwave signal goes up through. It's like, and that went all over the internet in a storm. It's like, really? Really? No, that's waveguide. It's not even electrical conductors. It's waveguide. I know what waveguide is. I used to assemble waveguide and run it up a tower with a dish when I was doing microwave communications, putting up microwave relay stations back in the day when I was in the National Guard. Yeah, I was a radio man. Knew all about that. Nothing to be afraid of there. Not in that regard. Jesus has more than Elon. No comparison, even. Elon's a rich man on earth, but earth is puny. Larry, hi, everyone. Glad to see y'all survived the sunflares. Of course we did. So far. Thank you, New Days, for sharing that with my page. Yeah, go to prepwithgreg.com. Dehydrated potable water included. Yeah, just add water. Yeah, we've had some good jokes on the dehydrated water inside some of our clubs in years past. Windows 11 is going to revamp the security protocols. Now, encryption program is going to be mandatory. And they're doing some weird stuff with Facebook. All this stuff that's requiring two-factor identification, and they supposedly send stuff to my phone, and I go look at my phone, and it's not there. All that stuff don't work. Microsoft stuff's all hosed stuff. Maybe it won't be able to use Microsoft or even be able to use my computers. Oh yeah, Michigan. I didn't put an article about this, but I saw this article saying Michigan is trying to get people to agree to this program for tracking and monitoring them, promising if we can monitor you and where you go through the GPS, we will cut down your gas tax. Guys, we have an old saying I used to abide by. If the camel gets its nose in the tent, the rest is sure to follow. Once you get started, you're on a slippery slope. What comes next? Yeah, and isn't that a great idea for just let them monitor you everywhere? I already had a friend tell me that he was in a Tesla, and yeah, a good friend of mine just told me. Actually, he's one of my cousins. Told me that he was in a Tesla with a guy I've never been in one of those Tesla cars. He said when it got a certain speed, it stopped, would not go any faster. He said they had a built-in governor. Now, maybe the earlier versions didn't have it. I've heard how they had all this performance built into them. I don't know, guys. Apparently, his model has a built-in governor software. You can't do that. What happens if you're in an emergency? Remember, you used to be able to put on your emergency blinker lights and speed up if you act like a medical emergency or something. Hmm. What happens if you're trying to outrun a tornado? I knew hope people have done that in this area. Uh, anyway, World Economic, yep, Lee, the House of Klaus is getting a lot of what they want, but don't have to go that way. Klaus and Company specialize in economics and commerce. They do. We got Trident back payment F9 FF9. Small man. Side drum. What you're saying there. Trident. Howdy, Billy. Lace Salou. Very true. It rhymes. Vladimir, the gladiator Putin, graduated on top. Yep, he is definitely in the House of Klaus. A lot of people don't believe that. I showed y'all a video of him just lovingly chatting to him just weeks before the invasion into Ukraine. So, yeah, it's all, like the Emperor said, everything is proceeding according to plan. That's what he told Darth Vader, right? Don't trust, what's politicians, politics, mini ticks, mini bloodsuckers. Don't trust any of them. I think it was Esclair when Russia decided to invade a peaceful country. It was, Larry. I don't deny that either. Rasmussen, I know him from Prime of Denmark too. Yeah, he was. Yep, there you go, Alan. But NATO's got the best technology, but they don't have the biggest military. But a lot of the thinking says because the technology is so good that they're expected Russians would use the tactical nukes right off the bat. Back in the earlier days when of NATO and Russia in the Cold War, NATO since the Soviet Union had a much bigger military than Russia today, and they had because they were able to pull in from all the Warsaw Pact countries. They had tons of tanks and artillery, just way outnumbered what the West had. And the West thought the only way they could stop the Russians was to go tactical nuke right off the bat. And so we had a lot of tactical nukes in Europe at the time. We got rid of the vast majority of them. We're down to a couple of hundred now. But Russia now has a huge tactical nuke advantage. They did not get rid of theirs. And now the thinking is that because NATO's weapon technology is so superior, that Russia might use tactical nukes early on to get the West to stand down and back off. I don't know, guys. Nuke war news tonight. You tell me. Nadler the Penguin. AOC's a funny gal. I did a short or two on AOC on this channel. Go look at my shorts. The short videos, not the shorts that I would allegedly wear. Allegedly. Kind of a fan of Commando myself, but anyway. So check out the short videos. They're all poetic. Some are kind of sing-songy. Uh, but only one of them is not poking political fun. One of them I did do one about Elon taking over Twitter. The rest of them are political. Then semi-political. Pizza in the oven. All right, tried it. The old gentleman before Putler chance that they have a problem with Switzerland. You'll see as a child. I'm grown. Yeah, she is. But she's got to vote. Yes, man, milk dud, according to John. Yep. Well, let's hope that they're all duds there, Larry. Let's hope so. How much do you want to bank on that? Larry, do you want to just go right to Moscow? Do you send tanks straight into Moscow? Is it Putin on his way to North Korea or China? I don't know. Russians recruiting. Yep. America blew up the Nord Stream. Yep, I read that. Kazakhstan, Astana. Yeah, a lot of people are thinking Astana is being set up to be the future world capital. Now, there's something really interesting going on with Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan, the president had all these riots against him, so-called president, and the Russians went in and defended him. I mean, they mowed people down in the streets with their nugs, bang, 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 mowed them down, rioters. And then they left. And then Kazakhstan seemed to be going in a different direction, kind of away from Russia. Now the Russians seem to be going after the government of Kazakhstan. Just a lot of weird stuff with Kazakhstan. What's it all boil down to? Colorado Jan, how you doing? Gold, silver, married brass and lead. Oh, after portable water, food, shelter. Yeah, potable water. Yeah, water should be your top concern always. That's why when I did the wild edible video series, I started out with water. Before I covered wild edibles, I covered water first. Many methods to purify and sanitize, two different separate things. Water. I've seen other channels talk about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I put a whole bunch together, more than I've seen on other channels and other videos that got, 100 times more views, maybe 1,000 times more. And they'd be talking about just a little sliver of it. Anyway. Yeah, Zelensky didn't call for an election. That's true. The Little Horn, the Book of Daniel, Stormy Daniels. Oh, harlot. Biding their time. Good to see you back trying it. Israel, worship the golden calf. Balls up. Yeah, well, Israel is even though they are a Jewish state, they are a very, what's the word for it? Not religious. What's the other word for it? Come on, guys. It's we call it a government when it's not religious. Geez, drawn blank. Yeah, Larry, you got to defend yourself. After Rome fall, they run away. Yeah, there's a there's an article comparing the United States today to the fall of Rome, and really what it talks about really rings true to where we're at today. High inflation, weak leader. I got to pull that out. Thank you for sharing all that on my channel there, Michelle. Thank you, Colorado Jam Rash, with a thumbs up. Callous, it's a scam. Amen. Amen, Alan Meyer Jensen. Arla, you see the roar a lot. A lot of people further south have never seen it in their lifetime. A lot of them saw it for the first time this last weekend. I live in Alaska. I've seen some more. Now, I have seen a roar from here in Alabama, but it was to the north. This aurora came in a lot higher up, and it was seen further south. Oh yeah. New Day says, Greg, those idiots think trees are also bad for the earth. Guess they have issues with oxygen. You remember the story about Billy Goat Gates wanting to bury trees? He thought we'd do a whole lot better sequestering carbon. We just dig big vats and trenches and plow the trees down and cover them up. They're anti-life. That's what it boils down to. What a bunch of knuckleheads. Arkansas, lots of cattle. Yep. Roaring kitty makes the markets quiver and squeal. Long live cattle and steak. Amen to that, Jesse. Hey, Jesse took me for a steak dinner. You think I want to eat a steak? Especially if I get one gifted? You darn right. I love steak. Can't hardly afford it anymore. Can't hardly afford beef. But I do love steak. Yeah, Larry, they're sacred in India. Thermostyle is really concerning. You know, during the Ice Age, Alaska was warmer. It was weather pattern changes. You'll move with the Aurora scene most times says you don't know me, Mom. Well, it would be a sight. Yes, cows taste good. I love cows too. Same reason there. Cherry Gamble. Eating and cooking. 3.2 million, 3.2 million people die from cooking gas. Oh yeah, according to Dr. Tedrow. He's the head of I'll say it backwards, OHW. Flip that like Nug. Yep, Tedrow. He's the guy who bowed real big to Xi Jinping. Yeah. The other kid, that's a good question. Why are they letting them cross the border so wildly? Oslo, not legal to off people on bio weapon. Yeah, no, it's not. Whoops, did I lose it? Yeah, they do their own people. That's right, Larry. What we do in other countries, they do their own people. Two wrongs don't make a right, though. My daughter had to share a tiny apartment and they're struggling. Yeah, we're having tough times, guys. It's tough. Bad, just rent has gone crazy. You want to add property tax on that? Well, if you're a renter, that gets passed to you from the landowner. You think he's that rich, Larry? He's on Social Security. Says he can't afford it. You tell me. It just blows my mind that Montana increased property taxes that much in a red state. Now play into this. Hey, there you go. Billy Kid, I agree with that. Round and around. Kitty litter boxes in schools say it all. The dumbing down and oh my God! Now I get what you're talking about. Kitty litter boxes in school. That's where somebody self-identifies as a cat. Colonel Cole, teacher today sits on a three-legged Stool. Leg 1, corrupt administration. Leg 2, uh, apathetic parents. Leg 3, feral students. Yeah, they're not raised. They're wild. They raise each other. They're not raised by parents anymore. Stool collapses. Teacher shortage. Broken home and broken school to broken prison. All too common. When it's sad. Son of a Preacher Man. That was a good song, was it not? Bizarro World. It is bizarro. Hey, Sunshine Girl. How you doing? Sunshine. I said Sunshine CST Girl. CST is. Hey, Alamar Jansen. Thank you. Angela Cardo. Hope I said that right. Good morning to you. Whoops. Krakatoa, 1883. Yeah, that was a huge explosion. Busted a lot of people's eardrums out and caused tsunamis, washed ships like a mile inland. That thing erupted and erupted and just kept erupting. And we already had telegraph in those days, so there were a lot of reports of that. We didn't get similar reports from the one that caused the year without a summer, uh, Tambora. Tambora went off in what, 1816, caused the year without a summer, I believe, in 1817. Yeah, it's just lost a lot of chat here. The other kid, I was a radio man in my 6-man team ranger. All right, Billy Kid, that's good to hear. And thank you for that super chat. I think I missed that one initially. Hey, that's the biggest super chat you put in there in a while. Thank you, Billy Kid. Appreciate that. Missing Cowboy Roy, Cowgirl in Arizona, Jason. Yeah, Judy Dowd can't do this late during a weekday. She's got a grandkid there with her that's going to school. Yeah, Facebook is an issue. Oh, Billy Kid had two $2 checks. How come I didn't see either one of them? May freedom ring, ET amongst us. Ouch, Greg. Thank you, sir. Missed some chat here. There was another one. I'm gonna try it. I think I caught that one. Yeah, so remote, and the water did mitigate a lot of its effects, John. But that was a huge explosion. Tonga and Tonga, Hape and Tonga. It was a big long name. I can't pronounce all that. That volcano had a huge name. Let's move some of those icy planets to our own orbit, cool us down. Yeah, we ain't quite there technically. John Cole, Greg Narpnet, Saturday, 18 May at the Huntsville Library. Well, actually, I got a family decoration to go to on the 18th. Yeah, I didn't see the notes for that one. Who's speaking? John? Yeah, I got a family event to go to with decoration. Maybe some last time I see some of my family since I'm heading to Arizona. Outrun a tornado a few times. All right, Wendy. That's good to know, but you got a lot of them. Yeah, I'd hate to get in a vehicle and it goes, you're speeding. I got a tornado coming. You're speeding. That's one like a big old gas guzzler. I can put my toe in the carburetor and go, 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 go. Senator Palpatine, Emperor Darcidius. Yeah, he became the emperor. Can I pet that dog? How you doing? Good morning, America. How are you? Don't you know me? I'm your native son. Oh, Colonel Cole out of the house now. If you're still here for a moment, thank you for joining us. We got Obi in the house. Hey, Obi. You like Obi-Wan Kenobi? Talking about Star Wars tonight. Obi-Wan Kenobi. And we got Good Day in the house. Are you down in are you from down under Good Day? Are you in Australia? Obi, the enemy within America. Yeah, we got too much. God is good, says Harnick. That's the beginning of a grace. God is great. God is good. Thank you, Lord, for this food. Pass the grits and the ammo. All right. Cell phone connection more important than water? No. Maybe for doing a video. Oh, my cell phone may go dead now since I've unplugged it. Oh, we still got some charge on it. Good. Don't have the laptop plugged up, though. I'm going to plug it up. It's losing charge. Larry Smith is obviously pretty anti-Putin and pretty anti-Russian. Larry, somebody told me you was a Russian troll. As a Russian troll, you really stink. You don't sound anything like a Russian troll to me, but I was told you was a proven absolute Russian troll by several people. Doesn't seem to add up. Never thought it did. Yes, Gnosticism is a belief that the existence of God or divine or supernatural is unknown or unknowable. And Gnostic is someone who doesn't believe or disbelieve in the existence of a God or gods. Secular government. That's what I was trying to say, Caledonian son. Thank you for reading my mind better than I could read it. Secular government. Yeah, Israel really has a secular government. It's a secular society, very secular. Of course, it was set up by none other than how did it get started? The Balfour Agreements. Who started the Balfour Agreements? Who signed it? Was it not a child of Roth, Red Shield? Medium rare. Okay, there, John Edwards. I like my well cooked. S. Lee, the quote came from 24 hours ago. Oh, what was that quote? S. Lee. Oh, the only Gnosticism. Yeah, guys, Europe is going to become the most powerful. Eurostan will be the most powerful Islamic nation in the world in a few decades because the immigrants are breeding at a very high rate and the natives are not. So Europe will cease to become European as we know it. It will be a different land very soon. What do you think about that, Aldemar Jensen? What's the future of Europe? What is the future of Europe, Aldemar Jensen? You tell me. Oh, USA going nuts now. Sorry for your all, says Aldemar Jensen. Yeah. The year without the summer created the Stradivarius violin. Guys, I always tell you, there's a silver lining around every mushroom cloud. CST is short for coast. Oh, Sunshine Coast, British Columbia. Well, good to have you here from way up north. Way up north. You're not as far north as Alaska, though. Puckhead Trudeau is killing my country. Yep. Glad we don't have Trudeau. What's up, Boondock? Down in the boondocks. Boondocking. That's what we do when we camp out in strange places where they don't expect us. Sneakily in our vehicles and other things. Ask any zookeeper what the biggest issue is, keeping animals from infecting each other. That's true. Yeah, I've seen those that claim that about the dinos, but the effects of that Chicxulub impact were unbelievable. Hey, we got a super chat from Boondock. Better stop unpacking America and start packing those boxes running out of time. Hey, thank you, Boondock. Salute to you. Thank you for the super chat. Dinosaur was 1841, replacing the term dragon. There you go, S. Lee. Oh, shoot, it jumped out. Let's see. The notes jumped. Dragon. Dragonosaur. Say. Yeah, got too many dictators in the world. Dictators and wannabe dictators. And tater heads. Dictators and tater heads. Israel has a laser, like Ronald Reagan. Ronnie Reagan, my favorite president. Ronnie Reagan. That's what I used to say when he was in office. We'll die defending our way alive. There you go, Billy the Kid. For all the money to have to keep grow, that's why they don't financial. Was an asteroid. Now, what do you mean by asteroid meteorite? Yeah, the Chicxulub meteorite did a lot of damage. That one asteroid that didn't get lights on Arizona, that was about 50,000 years ago, I think. The meteor crater was formed. I've seen it from the air. I got to go to it next time I'm out. Soon when I'm out in Arizona. It's not that far from where I'm at. Yeah, under Greenland. Back when the one hit Chicxulub, it also had an impactor and it broke up. It hit Earth in several places because oh, wait a minute. My bad. That one did. But we believe one hit the Laurentine ice sheet that caused the younger dryas and wiped out the megafauna in North America and most of the megafauna the megafauna both North America and Europe when it impacted on the Laurentine ice sheet, formed all the Carolina bays. And there's two sets of Carolina bays, so it corresponds to two separate impacts. And there's also the impactor that hit just north of Greenland around the same time frame. So apparently that thing broke up and caused a lot of impacts. It's also thought that, 4,000 or 5,000 years ago, they found evidence of one hitting in the Indian Ocean. And there's all this evidence for where the tidal waves went ashore all around the Indian Ocean basin. And it coincides roughly with the flood of Noah. And it's believed it would have evaporated so much seawater, and they find evidence that it actually rained globally for weeks, just like the Bible explains. Days and days and days, 40 days and nights of rain. That's totally probable from that impact. And huge tsunamis to boot, all around that region. And I've seen one archaeologist who claims that the Santorini, is that how you said, volcano had a lot to do with the plagues in Egypt. Here's the remnant of the impact crater in northern Quebec, it's a ring lake now. Yeah, there's a lot of them up in that area. Even all the nickel you get in the Sudbury Plain. A lot of the asteroids are nickel rich, but they believe that nickel came up because it hit the Earth so hard that it caused nickel that was deep in the Earth to well up. Was it from the asteroid or was it from the Earth? You tell me. I don't know. Sudbury Basin. Lots of nickel mined up there. In Canada. Sheet, thank you. Indian Sea, new to me. Thank you, sir. Yeah, you hadn't heard that one? Yeah, that's out there. Did not be fooled. Who's been fooled by what, Billy the Kid? Anyway, so that is going. We've been through the entire chat room now. It is 4:06. I want to double check my PayPal. Something went wrong on their end. Oh, Lord, try it again. All right, like I said, through my website and PayPal, we got 2 nice super chats tonight, one from Michelle Young and one from New Days. And we just got another from Boondock. Boondock, salute you. Great. Can I make you an online dating profile with your picture and background for fee? You need a good, strong woman by your side. Oh, I don't have time to go chasing any more than I got chasing me right now. Anyway, appreciate the offer. You got a dating application? Or you run a dating website, Boondock? Wendy, you leaving us? Thank you for joining us. I was never so rich until she said, I love you. Oh, yeah. Sometimes that's very expensive. Preston, Robert, how you doing, buddy? Arnold. The Minoan culture was wiped out by Santorini eruption and also buried Herculeum, I believe. Yeah, that was an awesome explosion. Super chats, love you, Greg. Well, thank you there, Billy. Appreciate it very much. You said the dollar is on. I appreciate that, Billy the Kid. Boondock. Yeah, we'll do you justice. We can talk about it more later. All right, Boondock. I think we ought to call it a night. It is 4. I got a lot going on. I've been packing. Let me see. I'll have to show y'all some pictures. My phone, if I can. Ding, 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 ding. Let's see. Give me a second. That's what we'll do tonight. Well, all right. Here's inside my bus. Just built a wall inside my bus. I'm going to put a door in it. Now, that wall is far enough back that there's still a sleeping living area behind the driver's seat, and that wall. More than I got in my van. And then behind that's 20 feet of open bus to load cargo into. This wall, we're going to move it forward later when I start really building the bus out as an RV. That's so that when I slam on my brakes, the cargo in the back don't come knocking me in the back of the head and knock me out the front windshield. Those brakes do grab. So this is looking at that wall from the back. From the back of the bus, where I used to like to ride. And that didn't focus good. And here is the back of the bus from the wall. We got a lot of space in there. Focus right. There we go. That's my U-Haul. Oh, yeah. There's another little picture. You don't know work until you've been cutting, raking, baling hay all summer. I used to do that. My dad got a hay baler back when I was 11 or 12. I used to follow him and haul hay. And I got big enough, I drove the tractor, cut, raked, and baled it, and hauled it. Oh, yeah, by the way, talking about tornadoes, you said big brick mansion? I took a picture of it because I'm wondering how long that thing's going to last. That's the third house they built there on that site, just like that. Two of them, the two predecessors, got knocked out by EF5 tornadoes that went through the same path. Two EF5s knocked down predecessors of that house. Anybody want to buy a portable rocket motor test stand on a trailer? She's for sale. Yep, there's another view of it. Anybody want to buy a D6 rocket or a boat? Yeah, I don't think I need a boat in Arizona. Here's where I made a floor plan of my house and cut me out some little pieces of furniture and played around with them, arranging them. Try to figure out what I could fit in there. There's a local sunset. Cardboard sign says yard sale. Real estate sign says sold. That's where I'm at. Now we'll do the yard sale. Yeah. You ever gone to I've gone to the yard sale once upon a time, a couple times. I said, yard sale. Hey, I want this square foot right here. Don't buy a square foot of the yard. They look at me funny. Huh? I got yards for sale, right? You got a yard sale? Anywho, let's see if I can find some Aurora pictures now. Colonel Cole took better pictures than I did. I got a little bit late, so my pictures weren't as great. There's one. That's some of the Aurora I saw. Here it was multicolored, red and kind of a turquoise. Well-defined lines. It'll probably look like a blur to y'all through the camera there. Yeah, I got a bunch of Aurora pictures right here in Alabama. But I went out after the main storm because I was doing a report to you guys about the storm. I missed the best part. Oh, well. Funny thing, despite all the warming, the Plymouth Rock, the ocean level is the same level as it was in 1620. Yes, sir. Rocket. In fact, on that stand, we tested my computer table. We tested my computer table on that stand. It was rocket motor. We fired this motor on that stand. This motor is now my laptop computer table. Don't everybody use a rocket motor for a computer table? All right. Yeah, okay. Who were the so-called farm workers? Were they really farm workers? I don't know. Good question. Sea level rock, yes. Boondock, Greg, you're such a good soul. Please don't stop your videos when you go to Arizona. You have a true community of friends and family. Yeah, well, I was doing videos when I was out there. I didn't have all the assets on my computer and the drive, and I couldn't make fancy thumbnails and do everything I do with articles. I just didn't have the resources to do all that. But I was doing videos when I was out there. I don't think I uploaded anything. It was mostly, well, maybe I did, but it's mostly live videos. Most of the stuff I recorded to upload, I waited till I got home to upload. But this computer will be going out eventually. So once I get a little power and get my Starlink set up, I'll be able to do a lot more out there, especially if I can set this computer up. But my house still don't have walls up. It's got 2x6s. It's got the outer shell of a wall. I did buy the materials, but the shell around it. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford any wire and insulation in it for a while. It's going to take me a lot of gas money to get out there. It's going to be a challenge getting my stuff out there. I hope I got enough, dig up enough gas money just to get my stuff out there. And then I'll take it one day at a time for trying to set the house up. Yeah, I got to move before the house finished. That's just the way it is. But that's the way it is. Hopefully I can sell enough of this stuff that'll help me on that. Can you light a cigarette with that rocket motor? You wouldn't want to put your face that close to it. You wouldn't have any hair left. It'd all be poof. Yes, sir. Chewy weather. Hey, doing off to bed. Well, have a good night. Yeah, we're about done. Ask Bill Clanton to light your cigar. Uh-oh. Now you ask for it there. Let's see here. Now you ask for it. Open my cigar here. I did not have sex with that woman. It was my cigar. Like I said, I I did not have sex with that woman. It was my cigar. My cigar had all the fun. But I smoked it. Man, that was one good cigar. I don't even have an ashtray in here. What do I want to do with this thing? I don't smoke in the house. That's what I do in the vehicle. But y'all prompted me, so I got crazy stuff I do for y'all. Just have to let it burn out. Somebody play the Rush Limbaugh theme. Well, you get some entertainment here. If you hang on to the end, hey, put this note after the video and after we get through the live chat session and notes below, say, hey, all the humor is at the end of the video. Thanks, Greg. And then the people will be watching this. What? Smoke them if you got them. Yeah, we said in the Army. Light them if you got them. Enjoy the cigar, son. Yep. All right, Alan Meyer, Justin. So glad to see you making progress with your move, Greg. Well, I still got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I got a lot of stuff we got to get there and get out soon. And that's going to be a challenge. It's going to be tough. So I may make less videos. Love you, man. Yeah, thank you there, Billy Kid. There's what's the prepper's name? And always his all his images show him on a big fat cigar, the prepared mind. I ain't never seen him smoke a cigar on the video. Maybe he has. I just hadn't seen it. But the prepared mind. Y'all ever watch that channel? I like them dark myself. Just yeah, I've had mine. I've had mine. Like I said. All right, went out good. Yeah, I'm gonna keep puffing. I'll go out. I was worried because I didn't have an ashtray in the house. I don't smoke in the house. That's for the vehicle. But anyway, and for your entertainment, I do all kind of crazy stuff for y'all. You can do it. There you go. Daddy used to smoke a cigar, but I loved the smell of his pipe with Prince Albert. There's two Prince Albert cans right above my finger, right there. See those? Those are Prince Albert. There's another brand. I'm pretty sure. And let's see, right above my finger, right here. Let's see. So that's a big corn cob pipe. There's 2 or 3 corn cob pipes right there that I made when I was I started making corn cob pipes when I was 12. The time I was 12 to 14, I made corn cob pipes, some big ones. I had a couple I used to hang in a gun rack. But when I moved, one got stolen by somebody. The best general, George Patton. He was a good general. Well, the kid. He was a good general. Yeah, John, that how he have go see now. John is the name of the guy I was talking about. I don't know if that's who you're referring to. Yeah, that's his first name. Repair minds, John. Record your whole move, make it a series. Well, I don't know. It would be kind of boring, probably. Issues and triumphs. Oh, like a reality show. Hmm. If y'all would like to see that, I don't know. I think most of my channel would unsubscribe if I did that. But let's see what y'all think about it. Yeah, see what y'all think. What the normal subscribers, y'all are my close in supporters, my good friends. A lot of people watch the videos aren't, they aren't the hanger-ons that watch me to the end like you guys do. So, but I would like to see what y'all think. If y'all think I ought to do a kind of a reality show of moving to Arizona, put a put a 6 in the chat room. I'll pick some number beyond all the numbers we're asking later. I usually use even numbers for good things. No, it wouldn't be boring. People eat old food on YouTube. Mama said, don't go near that river. Don't hang around old Catfish John. Come the morning, I'd always be there, walking in his footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. Yeah, don't hang around Catfish John. And there was another song. Everybody's voting 6. Uh, how's that go? To get things done, you better not hang around Major Tom. My mama said, to get things done, you better not hang around Major Tom. Nah, not 666. My mama said, to get things done, you better not hang around Major Tom. Two very different songs, both mom telling you not to hang around somebody. How about that? All stories I have found, short but not too big around, old worn out shirt and shoes, but don't pay no union dues. I ain't got no cigarettes. I smoke old stogies I have found, short but not too big around. I'm a man of means by no means. I'm still king of the road. There you go. I might not get the words right, but I get some of them out there. Yeah, that's a good song. I like this Kansas City Star song. Kansas City Star, that's what I are. You ought to see my car. Drive a big old Cadillac, got wide wheels, got rhinestones on the spokes. I get purty at my grocery store. My barber tells me jokes. Anyway, 6 days on the road. There you go. 6 is not if it slows you down too much. Yeah, it might sing Major Tom. I don't think I get that whole song. There was like now David Bowie referenced Major Tom in 6 songs, but he had 3 songs that was particularly about Major Tom, the Major Tom character. So I'd have to work on to sing that. So smile. There you go. 6 days with Greg on the road. Well, it takes me 2 days to get out there. It'll take me a day to unpack, and then turn and burn. If I come right back, it'll be 2 days. That'll be a 5-day trip each trip. It's going to take me several trips to get all my stuff out there. It's going to take 2 or 3 days just to get all the junk that I'm taking from the back out there. And then hopefully not more than 2 trips. And then at least a trip to get all my household goods out there, maybe 2 for that too. And I'm going to make it home tonight. Not quite know that song. I'm about to think of the 500 Miles song. 500 miles, 500 miles. How's that song go? Think about that one. How about 2,000 miles? That's just 1,500 out there. and back each way. It's 3,000 round trip. Sack nuts. How you doing? How about some Mobaline? I don't know that. Mobaline. Mobaline. Yeah, I don't know that one. David Bowie had different color eyes because he was punching the eyes of a kid. Was that it? I always thought he diluted one of his eyes to make it bigger just to kind of freak people out before he'd do some of the songs. I've always thought he put that stuff in his eye to dilute it. Now, if I'm wrong, tell me. Is that what was going on with his eye? Get punched in the eye when he was a kid. He had some odd looking eyes, that's for sure. That I didn't know, Larry Smith. Amazing how much stuff you learn over time. Alrighty, folks, we've been in here for a long time. We've been here for an hour and 15 minutes. But you cannot make me to drink, okay? Well, that's not possible, but what's not possible, Boondock? Highway 40 Blues. A lot of good songs. Good morning, America. How are you? What are you hoping you finish? Well, I'd love to be able to do it by the end of the month, because if I'm here after the end of the month, it's going to cost me a lot of money, but I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to pull that off. Maybelline. I don't know Maybelline, Sack. Oh, was that the one that sung the song? I'm snoozing. Okay. Yeah, we need to go. We're late. We're late. We need to go. So, hey, you woke me up. Hey, John Taylor. My terrible singing, that'd wake the dead probably. Ground control to Major Tom. Yep. All righty, Billy Kid. That's it. Nothing to think about. Modest Mouse. All righty, folks. Let's call it a night. Let's call it a night. We've been on here a while. Thank you, Super Chatters. Thank you very much. Thank you, mods, for all the work you do. Thank you, everyone, for watching. To one and all, a good day, good night, wherever you are. And with that, I am going to say